Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. My name is Alex. It's a beautiful day here in Cebu City, Philippines. Nice and sunny. I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. In this video, I'll tell you about an American arrested in the Philippines over alleged ties to the cartel, Cebu-based vlogger arrested, Filipino U.S. green card holder, 50 years in the U.S. resident retained, a Swiss diver experiencing shortness of breath rescued, plus much more. I just want to say thank you guys for this wonderful week on the channel. Very successful, averaging over 10,000 views. Very impressive for a channel that has only 8,000 subscribers. Usually your views are definitely lower than your subscribers. So thank you guys. I really appreciate every single one of you guys watching, liking, sharing, and commenting in these videos. Here is our top story. Oh, before that, let's talk about the peso at the USD exchange rate. We haven't talked about it for a while. Right now, $1 equal to 57.3. Here's our main story. The Bureau of Immigration has apprehended an American fugitive wanted by the U.S. authorities for trafficking and alleged ties to the Sinaloa Cartel. Henry Watkis, 51 years old, was arrested by immigration authorities on March 18th at his residence in Barangay Ubali, Polangoe Albay. I butchered that name, I'm sorry, Filipinos. In coordination with the U.S. officials, the U.S. government had sought the BI's assistance in locating and deporting Watkis. A U.S. District Court in northern Iowa issued an arrest warrant for Watkis on February 26, charging him with distribution of shabu and white powder. Authorities also said that Watkis acted as an enforcer for the Devil's Disciples motorcycle gang in Chicago, Illinois, and used aggressive stuff to collect proceeds. Very difficult to maneuver over these wordings. Anyways, quote, he will be deported for overstaying and for being an undesirable alien. We cannot allow the Philippines to be used as a sanctuary for foreigners involved in illegal substances trade, Immigration Commissioner Joe Anthony Viado said. And in a separate arrest in Naga City, the BI also arrested an overstaying Egyptian national on the 19th. The suspect, identified as Bakit Akram Mianir Guda, 37, was apprehended in Barangay Igualdad, Naga City, following criminal complaints for direct assault and oral defamation against police officer. A local resident filed complaint against Guda for allegedly violating the Safe Space Act, citing immoral acts. Both foreign nationals are currently in BI custody. Yes, once again, a reminder, a simple misuse of your words can have a Filipino person file charges against you. So be careful how you behave in the Philippines. You can be considered a persona non grata. I don't know what that is, but basically somebody that nobody wants around. Okay, you're gonna be rude and disrespectful. Somebody that the locals do not find, basically just being a dick. Don't do it. They can file charges against you and kick you out for simply being immoral, talking down to a police officer, to the peoples. Just behave. If you're in this country, do what you want in your private residence as long as it's legal. I mean, that's nobody's business really. But outside, just show a little bit of respect. You're in another person's country. You're still here on some kind of tourist visa or even retirement visa. They can revoke that at any point and just kick you out. So if you're enjoying your life in the Philippines like I am, just try to behave in a way that you're not getting kicked out of the country. It's the bare minimum I think we can all ask for. Next up, the NBI said that they arrested a Cebu-based vlogger identified as Windy for spreading false information about the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on social media. The vlogger was detained on March 20th for violating Article 154, the revised Penal Code, and Section 6 of the Cybercrime Prevention Act, with a penalty of up to 6 years in prison and fines around 200,000 pesos. The arrest followed the complaint from the television network about the manipulated post where the president appeared to endorse illegal use of substances. The suspect admitted to using the altered content to gain views for her monetized channel after losing her job, her regular job. NBI Director Jamie Santiago warned that those spreading false information would eventually face illegal consequences. Yeah, another reminder, views are cool and all, but you can't be spreading fake news essentially. And by when I say fake news, I believe this is about that video of the current president, Mr. Marcos, that was shown sniffing some kind of white substance where the BI came out or some kind of agency came out and basically proved that video to be altered and wrong, but this person has gone ahead and tried to get some views by sharing that content. Guys, what I do, for example, even if it's let's say fake news or whatever it is, I have a source. I get it from the mainstream media. I don't go and purposely, knowingly spread misinformation to try to get views. Do I make mistakes? Probably. I'm sure I have at some point. And if I do, I correct them. It's not about me. It's about this person, you guys, whoever. Number one, do not partake in any political rallies or protests or any kind of, doesn't matter what you believe in, what you don't believe in. It's strictly against Filipino law to protest or demonstrate any kind of political leniency or support. So don't do that. I mean, whether you believe it or not, whatever you want to believe, even if you lived here for a long time, it's not our place to say. Honestly, there's enough problems in our own countries to be getting involved in stuff like this because they can kick you out. So yeah, stay away from that kind of stuff. This person, I believe, is a Filipino person, so they just try to grow the social media, but not in the right way. And then Louis Lynn Dixon, a 64-year-old Filipino green card holder, was detained by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's ICE after returning to Seattle from the Philippines on February 28th. Dixon, a permanent resident of the U.S. for 50 years, was held at the Northwest Detention Facility with her family unsure of the reasons for her detention, as ICE only mentioned awaiting documents. Her niece, Emily Cristobal, and Hawaii State Rep. Tina Grandinetti, a critic of former President Trump's immigration policies, have spoken out against her detention. Grandinetti condemned it as part of a broader attack on immigrants and advocates for the bill to provide state-funded legal representation for immigrants in Hawaii. By now, most of us should know that the current administration, President Donald Trump of the United States, is cracking down on immigration illegals. Anyone basically that's an immigrant, whether they're green, even like I think recently 500,000 migrants had their status revoked or something major. I didn't follow that story. But one thing I do know, when they're crossing back into the US or even visiting as tourists, people are doing, so you can look at it. I don't know enough about it, so I can't say too much, to be honest, but a lot of people are getting detained, right? A couple of German people were denied. And it's not just like, let's say, immigrants as far as like non-Caucasian people, it's everybody. And some people say these immigration officers are solely doing their job, just more, not accurately, but like just doing their job, basically. They're not doing anything illegal. But some other people are saying, no, these people shouldn't be apprehended. Of course, this person, over 50-year residents, I don't understand. Firstly, the first question in my mind, why is this person a citizen? Over 50 years and a permanent resident. I know if I were in that position, as soon as I'm eligible for citizenship, I'd be applying to get a citizenship of any country I'm in. But then again, I don't know her backstory, why she's a permanent resident. Maybe she goes in and out of the country often enough where she's not residing long enough to be considered a citizen. Maybe she doesn't have the application fee. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so that's one thing. But kind of scary that if you just come here as a tourist, as a visitor, or even a permanent resident, that ICE can detain you or immigration can go ahead and detain you without any clear, because there's a lot of stories going around, people getting detained and put away for a while before either getting sent back to their home country or not being allowed to enter the United States of America. Next up, a Russian man gets 18 years for taking the life of a fellow national in Vietnam. A court in Binh Thanh province, Vietnam, has sentenced Russian national Roman Nikiforov, 41, to 18 years in prison for the ending of Vasily Ilyushin, 45 years old, following a dispute over housing. The incident took place on 30th of January in Pantet City, where both men had been living together. Tensions reportedly flared when the person who passed away asked Nikiforov for help finding a new place to live. When Nikiforov refused, an altercation broke out. Believing that the deceased was reaching for a weapon, these guys' names difficult to say. Nikiforov struck him multiple times with a hammer. He then wrapped the body in bedsheet and disposed of it in a nearby field, and attempted to cover up the crime by cleaning the scene and discarding the belongings of the victim. Locals discovered the body 2 days later, prompting a police investigation that quickly led to the arrest. During the trial, the accused confessed to the crime and pleaded for leniency, but the severity of the act warranted a lengthy sentence. Leniency? Buddy, what are you doing? Like what kind of altercation provokes you to get a hammer and then wrap up the body, dispose and clean? That's clear motive, right? A crazy incident. I've lost my cool many times in life, but I don't think I'll ever, I can't even say, man. No excuses for this man. Even 18 years seems lenient to me. Okay, maybe we could finish off with some positive story here, I guess, in a way. A female Swiss diver who experienced breathing difficulties after engaging in a series of diving activities was rescued off Occidental Mindoro, the Philippines Coast Guard reported on Monday. I'm happy that she's fine now. I've never been diving, but I would assume it would be very challenging. I know you got to get licensed and all that. Actually, the Philippines, I believe, is one of the cheapest countries to get your diving license. What do they call that, a PADI or something? Have you guys been diving? I'd love to hear your diving stories. Actually, I'd love to hear your thoughts about any of the stories I covered today. And now it's time for a segment, Yesterday Today, where I share some of the most popular comments regarding our previous video. But first, I want to thank somebody for buying me a coffee. I'd like to thank two people actually. So someone bought me 3 coffees saying great informative channel for all the things Asian related. Here are a couple of coffees for laughing at my sarcastic jokes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, someone. And of course, Paul, a big supporter of the channel. Thank you once again, Paul, for 10 coffees. Makes a huge difference. If you guys want to show some love, you can go ahead and click the link in the description down below. You can buy me a coffee that way, or you can scan this QR code with your phone if you're watching this on a TV or tablet and buy me a coffee that way. It does really motivate me. So thank you guys very much for all the support. Now here are some of the top comments. Mr. Brown says, this is why people hate insurance companies. Yes, they do, because of what happened to that Australian man having to cough up 30,000, I believe Australian dollars for his heart attack situation from yesterday's story. Joe says, my Filipino wife says no a lot of times to certain distant family members asking for money. If the money amount they are asking for is minimal, I say yes. That way, when we ask for the money back, you can never get a hold of them and they will duck, hide, and ignore you. Randy says, we got an Airbnb the other weekend for a fireworks show here in Manila. There were like 4 condo builds in the complex and they were 90% unoccupied. And that's regarding the story of yesterday. Over 8 years of unsold condos right now in Manila. It'll take over 8 years to go ahead and get rid of the oversupply of condos. And lastly, Todd says, learn to say no, especially in the Philippines. Beggars were there before you got here and they'll be there after you leave. For some, it's their job. There is a small guy on Walking Street, Red Street, who is aggressive in getting you to donate to him. He has worked this street for over 2 years, which I personally know about. I see him grabbing people's arms, wanting them to give him money. I've seen him cashing out before with at least 2K. Stop giving to these beggars. It's their job. Learn to say no. And that's it for today's video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna be moving out of this place actually into a new place. I'm looking forward to it because that place has a gym and a washing machine, so I don't have to like walk my butt a kilometer to get to the gym every morning. Also, I can wash my gym clothes mainly and do my own laundry. So I'm excited about that. Kind of weird to be looking forward to such small things, but in the Philippines or anytime you're traveling, anytime you can make your life more convenient, why not take that option? Plus, IT Park is great, but I think there are a lot more expats around Ayala Mall, which I'm going to be doing a lot more interviews for my Living Abroad channel. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I shared a little bit about myself, if you give a shit. Anyways, what? I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more news. I'm so excited to share news around the Philippines and Thailand with you guys. Bye.